Hey guys, Elderfall 101 here, back here with another tier list. So this is a little bit of a different tier list. I'm gonna be tier listing the perks, but this tier list I originally got is for perk jingles. That's why you have all these extra ones down here, Shadow of Evil, and you also have the Pack Punch thing. So we're not gonna do those. We're just gonna do these perks because I wanted to find a tier list that was just like base perks, not all the BO4 perks. Like I just want kind of just basic, just perks, like BO1, BO2, BO3 kind of perks. So we're gonna start with Deadshot Daiquiri. I know a lot of people say it doesn't help you on PC, and when I'm looking at this, I'm looking at this objectively from like BO3 backwards, right? So if you play Cold War, Deadshot Daiquiri has gotten a lot of changes. But if we look at the perk icon on here, this is definitely the Deadshot from like BO3 and behind, right? So Deadshot Daiquiri on console gives you aim assist to the head. On PC, I'm pretty sure it doesn't do that. Like it's buggy, I think, from what I've heard from like the community. Um, but I'm primarily a console player, so I'm going to tier list this as if I was a console player, right? And Deadshot Daiquiri, in my opinion, is a okay perk. It's not in my dream rotation, right? So when I play a new map, sometimes I'll have it. Like if I get a bonus perk, I'll have it, and I'm not gonna be upset, you know. But I'm not going out of my way to get this perk, you know. Like I have my core three, and then my flex fourth perk, and we'll get to the core three eventually. Depth perception allows you to, I'm pretty sure it allows you to like see zombies through walls, if I remember correctly. I'm not very familiar with depth perception, but I mean it's all right. I know in the later games, because I'm very familiar with this in the later games, it's in my opinion kind of useless. I know in Cold War you could upgrade them and stuff like that, and they can become better, but base version, I like. It's okay. Like I wouldn't give it bad, you know. Like it's benefits, but like I said with Deadshot, it doesn't belong in the dream rotation. So we have double tap, and I'm assuming this is talking about after BO1 where it like actually gets better, right? Um, because it's the different icon. It's not the two bullets lined up next to each other. So this would be double tap two. I'm gonna put this in good because it's double the damage, and that's really great. But eventually, at a certain point, if you do high rounds and stuff like that, that double damage is not gonna do much. You're gonna be relying on wonder weapons and stuff like that, and double tap doesn't even work on wonder weapons. You know, in BO3 with the pack a punch, like double pack a punch, I can see a use for it. That's why for me, double tap is constantly in that flex position for me, right? So like, I'll talk about the Dream 3, right? But double taps in that flex position tends to be, right? Electric Cherry, uh, it's kind of in the same realm as double tap. I would probably put double tap over it because the electricity around it, when it works, amazing. But half the time, I feel like you're just running and you reload and the electricity goes around you and it does nothing, right? Like it's cool, and in certain circumstances, it's clutch, but I don't think it's necessarily like a must need perk, you know? That's why it's perfect for the flex position. Depending on what map and guns you're using, that's perfectly fine. I'm pretty sure Electric Cherry works for certain wonder weapons like the ray gun. But let's look at like the staffs, or well, maybe not the staffs, but like the bows and Horizon Drag. I don't think it works on there, right? Because the bows don't have a reload animation. It's just constantly firing. So you're losing use there, right? And if for me, if I'm using a perk, I wanted to be able to use it throughout the course of the map, right? I don't want something that's just like, oh, temporary, right? Okay. So elemental pop. This is a Cold War perk. I'm still gonna rank it. It's just a completely better version of Electric Cherry in every way, in my opinion. Um, allows you to shoot alternate ammo types. Um, which is amazing, and you get a variety of those. The only issue is sometimes you get a turn zombie when you don't really want one. But if we look at the fully upgraded version from BO uh, Black Ops Cold War, it also gets the electricity that Electric Cherry does. So that's why I don't think it can be in the same realm as Electric Cherry, because it is just a better version. Now, if we're talking base version, I think that's a little bit more of an argument, but I would still rather have random alternate ammo types than double tap and Electric Cherry. That's like double tap's not even in Cold War, like So when I was talking about the Dream Three, the three you always want, I mean, it's obvious, Juggernaut. Depending on what version you play, the health fluctuates. Like World at War, it's not as great as Black Ops 3. And then if you look at Cold War, oh my goodness, like you become a tank, especially when it's fully upgraded. I know I mentioned earlier that I wasn't gonna really base that off my voting, but I'm mentioning it because people are gonna ask. Be like, if I put Elemental Pop in good, and they're like, but its fully upgraded version is just the same as the Electric Cherry, then people are gonna have an issue. Um, Mule Kick, in my opinion, okay, I hate Mule Kick. you know, I have never out of my way got Mule Kick. Mule Kick's one of those perks I get from a random perk, and I get mad. I'm like, now I have to worry about a third gun, and when I'm switching through like my guns, I don't want to have the third gun because what if I'm trying to switch to my Wonder Weapon and I switch to like an RK5? I'm like, no, it's way much to handle, and if you die, you lose it. But you got to consider a third gun is a third gun. That's a whole other thing of ammo and stuff like that, and that could be a whole Wonder Weapon. So I'm gonna respect game respects game. I can look at it and respect that that is a good perk, but in my personal opinion, I do not enjoy it. I never go for it. PhD Flopper, kind of in a very similar vein. I can respect that this perk is great, but let's look at it objectively, right? It's only in Black Ops 1, right? And there's PhD Slider in Black Ops 4 and Cold War, which I'll kind of just put those in the same vein. PhD Slider is basically the same thing. But if we're looking at this is Black Ops 1, and it was the meta. You get the Mustang and Sally, and you're immune to explosion damage. Issue being is I am not an explosive using type of person. And I know it helps with splash damage from the ray gun, but like I just really can't get by it. But I understand it was a meta at some point, and I'm gonna put it at the top of good for that reason. Maybe I'm gonna put it at the top of great, but in my humble opinion, I just I just don't like it. Like I don't ever use the actual flop. Now, granted, PhD Flopper, if you play Call of the Dead, is one of the only ways to get to the high rounds without it crashing, right? You know, so that has a use there, but that's one map. And it's not even on all the maps. Like it's not on Kino, I don't think. It's on Ascension, but like it's not even on all the maps, and it's very limited, right? So, um, the Cold War version I would put higher because, in my opinion, go get a fully pack punch rocket launcher in Cold War with PhD Slider. It's crazy. So I understand that. It is a meta, and I understand that, and that's why I'm giving it great. But some people will go straight to amazing, but not me. Quick revive. We have to factor in two things with quick revive: solo players and squads. Right? Solo player, it's the best perk of all time. 3 extra lives, and truthfully, I think quick revive is a great perk in multiplayer. I play with a lot of friends who aren't very skilled at Black Ops Zombies, so a perk like this is so clutch. Because half the time when I play with my friends that are not that skilled at the game, we all die because everybody's down and I have to revive somebody. I mean, revive everybody, and I don't have quick revive, and I die reviving them. Right? So, having quick revive for me puts it automatically at the top of great. Multiplayer, it has its uses, it's great. And if you look at Cold War, it also has benefits of like improving health and stuff like that. But you also lose the benefit of having extra lives with it. I do think it's great. Solo, it's amazing. If we're factoring in both, I think it has to be at the top of great. Right? So, yeah, like if I run quick revive every single time. Now, granted, in solo, after that third life, it becomes useless. So you have to factor that in. If you run through all your quick revives in the first 20 rounds, I mean, yeah, it saved you, but you haven't even gotten into the challenging part yet. And like two, if you die in those later rounds with quick revive, even if you have an extra life, it doesn't benefit you much because you're gonna get downed by them anyways. You could not get it down your whole game until you're in like round 30, and then get down to once with quick revive. That could be your first down, and you just die because you can't get any more perks, right? In the early rounds, it's good, but you shouldn't have to rely on a perk to be good to save you. You shouldn't really have to that shouldn't Because if you never die, hypothetically, let's say you never die, you go to all the way around 100, you never downed once, then it was a useless spot taken up on your thing. And as a just, oh, maybe what if this happens, when you could run something else in that spot that's going to benefit you a lot more. But I do understand, that was my little rant. It's really good though. Speed Cola. Speed Cola. That is in the amazing faster reload. I would say that's in the big three, you know. So these are the big three I was talking about earlier. Granted, sometimes I will, depending on the map, switch double tap and speed cola out. But for a lot of guns, it becomes so useful. Like just having that faster reloading is almost an essential. You know, so especially with slower like LMGs and stuff like that are just so slow. Like you kind of just need it. Stamina. I'm putting it over speed cola because in my opinion, if Juggernog didn't exist, or stamina, my bad. Stamina is the best perk in zombies. Just being able to run faster is a game changer. Especially when the meta is training and not just sitting in a corner. If you're sitting in a corner, speed cola and double tap your boys. But that's only gonna last you so long. Where training is universal, it's gonna last you so much longer. That's why I think stamina is your go-to, right? And if you're good enough, you don't even need Juggernog. It's kind of like Quick Revive, and it falls into the same vein that it's just protecting you just in case. Now, granted, I would say Juggernog in that case is a lot better than Quick Revive, because you're going to take hits multiple times. But if you're, like, insanely good at the game, you might not take any hits at all. But everybody can benefit from faster running, right? So that's why it's my number 2. And that's kind of a spoiler alert, but it's not moving from that number 2 spot. Alright? This is the big 3. Anytime you play any game, I would say 99% of the time, this is locked in, right? And then we might add some quick revive in there for playing solo, maybe some double tap depending on what strategies we're using. But like that's the lock in right there. Like you don't mess with those 3. Tombstone, I'm gonna put in bad because if I remember correctly, it's a co-op perk where if you drank it and you down, you can basically kill yourself, and all your items will be saved, right? Which is fine, but if that's what you're like relying on, like goodness, like you're leaving your friend high and dry. Now, granted, in a situation with me, when I play with my friends who aren't that good at the game, it's almost like a handicap for me to go revive them, right? And they're gonna lose their stuff if I don't revive them. Where in a case like that, Tombstone's perfectly fine for my friends who play, right? Like, it would be better for them to keep their items and me not having to worry to revive them, right? But let's say you're all very skilled and stuff like that. You're basically just lowering your number of players, which is just gonna make like everyone not as happy, Because then there's like one less person that they have on their team that round when they could get you up, especially if they're running quick revive. If you're not running quick revive and you're playing with people who are not great at the game, Tombstone is a great perk. Vulture's Aid, low-key, one of my favorite perks. Comes with multiple effects. It kind of gives like a depth perception kind of vibe where you can see through walls. It leaves green smoke that repels zombies, and when you kill zombies, they can have a chance to drop ammo and coin bags. That being said, I love the perk. It's one of my favorites. If I'm looking at this from the gameplay standpoint, I don't think it goes out of good. Like the green gas that like helps you like stay hidden is good, but being able to see the perks around the map is kind of useless. Like you're not using that late game. Like if you've played the game long enough, you're gonna know where everything is, and it's only on one map. So I'm gonna put it above Mule Kick because I'm gonna put it below Mule Kick. Sadly, I love this perk. Getting the extra ammo and the money bags, that's good too, but after a certain point, you don't really need any extra money, so you're really only using this perk for the green gas and the bullets, And sometimes when you're doing the green gas, it kind of messes up your training or messes up how the flow of the match is going, and the zombies run away. So, respectfully, I love this perk, but I know it has flaws, so that's why it's going to be at the bottom of good. Who's Who? I feel like it is a very hated perk, and it would definitely classify as bad. But I'm gonna put it in man okay for a couple of reasons. Okay, being able to revive yourself and get your perks back. I mean that's clutch, right? Um, that's if you can do it. And if you're playing with friends, I think it's completely possible. If you're playing solo, which a majority of I feel like the Black Ops community is, you're not getting yourself up. Like I said with quick revive, you get downed, you still have all your weapons, you just don't have any of your perks, and you still die. Same thing with who's who. I mean, you're just doing the same thing over again. Like you're getting up, you have no perks, and you have no guns. So it's just a worse version of quick revive. Um, yeah, like if you can get it done and if it works, I mean that's clutch. Low key, I'm putting it at the top of bad. I can't think of a redeeming factor. I think it is overhated, and I think it is a bad perk. But I can see the use. I can see the vision, right? Um. So yeah, that's who's who, and it's also on one map. So that's why it has to be classified as bad, in my opinion, because you can't even use it on any other maps. I don't think, right? I think it is only on the tower map, whatever it's called. It's gonna kill me that I don't remember that name right now. Widow's Wine, I think belongs at the top of great. From me looking at it from the community standpoint, it's a great perk. It kind of saves you from getting hit. Like I said, if you are expecting to get hit, you're I mean it's a good perk. If you're trying to do like a no hit run, obviously you don't want that perk. Um, Issues are the Widow's nades get in the way a bunch. I'm gonna put it down a little more. The Widow's nades, like sometimes you're like training and you hit a Widow's and they all kind of just bunch up and just surround you and you're kind of stuck because the zombie in front of you, to your left, and behind you are frozen and you can't move and they all kind of just clump on you. I can't talk about how many times I've played Black Ops 3 on Kino to Toten, running around the stage, accidentally get hit, get stuck on all these guys, and I end up dying. This perk was supposed to save me, and it didn't, right? But I do respect that it is a really great perk. Like I think it's a really great perk. I don't think it's quite amazing, um, but I do like it. Game respects game. I respect this. So my name's been Elderfall 101. This has been my tier list on all, not all, but I would say the standard perks. Like these are the standard. Like when you think Black Ops Zombies, you think of these perks. We have some new ones, we have some old ones, and we have some ones that have been here since the beginning. So yeah, my name's been Elderfall 101. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye.